We are in Hokianga today, outside of the town of Opanoni on the central west coast of Northland, on the North Island of New Zealand. And right behind me is Martin's Bay. Right back that way is the Tasman Sea. And this area is known for one thing in particular, and that is some of the oldest Kauri trees in all of New Zealand. In fact, the largest grove of mature Kauri trees in all of New Zealand. Some of the largest trees in the world. Two trees that are the largest trees in all of New Zealand. And so we're going to be exploring these old growth Kauri trees. There's lots of coastal hikes you can do here. I believe there's a waterfall that we're going to be checking out as well. I'm not too familiar with this region, Hokianga. I knew they had the Tane Mahuta, which is one of the largest trees, one of the largest Kauri trees, but I didn't know that they had this beautiful coastal area. Lots of mountains on the drive in here, and we were going to be diving in and exploring as much of Hokianga as we can. Beautiful viewpoint out here, just outside of the town of Opanoni. They do have an eyesight there, which will give you all the information on the local attractions. There's some cool cultural shows, and they have like night hike tours, because due to the amount of old growth Kauri they have here, it's one of the highest concentrations of the brown kiwi. So the best time to see them, because they are nocturnal, is at night. That's what nocturnal means, guys. So 3 kilometers up this dirt road has brought us to the Waiotei Marama waterfall walk. And I think it's a pretty quick walk to the waterfall. This is interesting. I've seen these in Coromandel, and these are footwear cleaning stations because they're having a problem with this thing called Kauri dieback, and it's brought in by people on their shoes. If they step on the roots of the Kauri tree, it's like a fungus that's killing the trees. So wherever there's Kauri trees, they're having these foot cleaning stations. Beautiful 15-minute walk here to this waterfall. The clarity of this water is pristine. You can tell that there's no agricultural runoff into this beautiful section of rainforest here on the west coast of Northland. Sweet waterfall. Not deep enough to jump or slide, but it would be fun to rig up a rappel from the top and come down. Looks real slippery though. So I just climbed up to the middle of the waterfall to see how deep this pool is here. Years and years of erosion have made a nice little pothole here in the basalt. Waist deep. Not too bad. Woo-hoo. So now we are at this Tane Mahuta, which is the largest tree in New Zealand. It's over 2,000 years old, and as you would expect, this place is pretty crowded. There's a cafe out front, lots of cars at the trailhead. I think it's a quick 5-minute walk. Seems like a popular family stop. Nice walk here on this boardwalk, and this is the biggest and one of the oldest Kauri trees in New Zealand. And you can see how they're supporting some of the old growth trees here. Fascinating to see like the air plants and the succulents growing on these massive trees. So there it is, the largest tree in New Zealand, estimated to be around 2,000 years old. And in Maori cosmology, they refer to the Tane Mahuta as the life giver, the offspring of the sky father and the earth mother that sprang up through the earth and ripped its parents apart, thus giving birth to all light, space, and living creatures. And it's kind of a little depressing to think about how a lot of northern New Zealand was covered in these massive Kauri trees for thousands of years, and how just years and years of deforestation and logging, and they used to harvest the gum from the Kauri trees, or the sap. Basically, they would drill a hole in it and they would tap them for this gum that they would export for varnish, for floor varnish, and ultimately that they realized that was killing the trees. You know, they cut them down to build ship masts, to build wakas, which are the Maori canoes. So it's impressive to see this massive remnant of what used to be prolific around New Zealand, and then just decimated by logging and making floor varnish of all things, and now just fighting to survive against this Kauri dieback fungus. And the root structure is actually not that strong, so just walking across the shallow roots of the Kauri tree with this fungus on your shoe can kill this massive ancient tree. And it just shows how fragile something so impressive and imposing can be. And I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that these are the inspiration for the Avatar trees. James Cameron, a big fan of New Zealand. In fact, they shot, I think they're still shooting the Avatar sequels in New Zealand now. The closest thing that we have here on Earth to the Avatar trees, right here.
I'm going to look over here.
So just like a kilometer down the road from the Tane Mahuta is this other Kauri walk, and has another big tree down here. Second largest tree in New Zealand. It's actually older than Tane Mahuta, 4,000 years old, and you can see the difference in this area because this is secondary growth forest, and they had burned this area back in the day before they started preserving this land. They used to regularly burn these areas, I guess, to encourage certain other type of species of trees to grow. Now it's under control of the iwi in the area, or the tribe, and now they're allowing the regrowth to happen. Obviously, the Kauri, the large Kauri trees we're going to see, were not burned since they are 4,000 years old. Pictures do not do justice to these massive trees, so please guys, don't go off the trail. They have a shallow root system and you can kill the tree. Massive, beautiful time out here. Highly recommend you check it out. If you like big trees, you should check out this video of us exploring the giant redwoods of Northern California. Plenty more coming from New Zealand. In the meantime, get out there, find your adventure, and be infamous.
Infamous.